Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Hoosier Park here on Friday. It is 20th of September 2024. Gonna look at the stakes action on the program from Hoosier, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean around the world. We're gonna look at the big feature races on the program, races 12 and 13. So let's get to it right now. 12th race for the Pacers. It's to Harrah's Hoosier Park Pacing Derby. We have a field of 10 Pacers going the 1 mile trip, going for that $165,000 purse. Gonna take the 8 horse, a buck bet Hanover. I'm gonna go 8-2-5-9 in the superfecta, 8-2-5-9 super. The beginning of a 20,000 pick 4 guarantee here, so just keep that in mind. But top selection 8 horse, a buck at Hanover, this 6-year-old horse by betting line. Harris trains one. Dexter Dunn's in the sulky. The most recent outing came up at Mohawk on the 31st of August, and the Canadian Derby, Canadian Pacing Derby. He finished second by a nose that day, and he gained a lot of ground that day from the outside. He really paced home a decent mile, 27 flat. He got caught right at the wire, but 148-1 off the bench. You know, he ran his heart out that day. He ran the preferred the week prior at Mohawk. And he won by a nose that day. Again, setting back early. Great turn of foot that day. 26 final quarter. He just kept getting faster that day. And 149-1. That was a good, return to the winner's circle. Considered to the race before, he didn't do a lot of running in the Sam McKee Memorial at the Meadowlands. 3rd of August. Finished 9th by 5.5 lengths that day. And he just wasn't really comfortable second over. Just never had a decent trip. And it just wasn't his day to win. But a couple weeks prior to that in the Houghton at the Meadowlands, he won by 3/4 length. Had a very wide trip that day, but again, he was very, very good. Quickened up nicely, and 147-4. That was a great run. Not his best time of the year. The best time came the week prior in 147-3 in the Brower on the slop at the Meadowlands on the 29th of June. Won by 2 3/4 lengths. Another very good trip from the pocket. He just wasn't going away. Paced home 26-1 for that final quarter. That was quite impressive. Coming here to the 7/8 mile track, drawn well. I think he'll see a good pace. He could win. The 2 horse It's My Show for Linda Toscano and Scott Azaran also could win also. Ran last week on the 10th of September, so a week and a half ago actually at the Red Mile in a Kentucky Sire Stakes where he won by half a length, 36 cents to the dollar, but he paced home a great final quarter, 25-4, 49-2, not the best time of the year, but that was a very good run. Race prior, 48-1, best time of the year in the Canadian Pacing Derby, winning by a nose, gaining from the back of the pack. He had 7.5-1. That was a great upsetter for this horse. He has some hidden ability. He ran the Red Mile last year, 146-4, so I think he's rearing to go. Drawn well, 8-1. Let's give him a shot here on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the 12th from Hoosier, it's not the Canadian Pacing Derby. That was a few weeks ago up in Canada. But the 12th race, it is the Hoosier Park Pacing Derby. Gonna take the 8 horse, a buck bet Hanover. Gonna use the 2 horse. It's My Show. 8-2-5-9 super. 8-2 in the multi race. Let's get to the featured 13th race now from Hoosier, which is the Caesars Trotting Classic. Field of 10 trotters going the mile trip, going for a $200,000 purse. Gonna take the 2 horse, Chapper Traz as a top selection. 2-4-6-3 in the superfecta. Can't speak here. It's been a long day. 2-4-6-3 super. Top selection 2 horse, Chapter Traz. This 4-year-old gun by Crazy Wow. Ron Burke trains. Yannick Gingras in the sulky. The horse's most recent outing came to the hill at Memorial at Soda 2 weeks ago now, 7th of September, where he finished 3rd by 1/4 lengths, and he left off the gate, setting some good fractions on the front end, 26-4 good first quarter that day. He just yielded late. He just got overtaken. What can you do? I do think he does his better running style on a bigger track. He's going to come here to the bigger track today, and I think he can find the trip to win. He ran the Maple Leaf Trot at Mohawk prior to 23rd of August, where he finished 6 by 6.25 lengths that day, and he just really had nothing that day. He just had a little traffic trouble, and he just needed the race that day. And then the Cashman at the Meadowlands on the 3rd of August, he finished 3rd by 3 lengths that day, and again, he was closing up well late, but he still needs something more that day. And then the Spirit of Massachusetts trot up at Plain Ridge, finished 2nd by a length, again trotted home decently that day, but he wants to run on the bigger track. He ran terrifically in the Hambo Maturity on the 13th of July, winning by a neck that day. Took good advantage of the long stretch, and at 32.5-1 from the Y Postra, he came back that day. That was a very good performance in 2:05-2 for the mile and a furlong. And then the Graduate the week prior. He finished third by 1/4 lengths, and again, he really tried home decently that day in defeat. Coming here at 6-1, I'm going to give him a shot back to the bigger track. That's where he wants to run. The 4 horse, Prairie Cullum for Marcus Melander and Scott Zaronko win also. I thought from the second tier in the International Trotting Yonkers a few weeks ago over the mile and a quarter, he ran terrifically. He finished second by 3.5 lengths. The winner just had his own way on the front end, but this horse, he closed up well. Prior to that, the Maple Leaf Trot, he won by 2.25 lengths, gaining from the back of the pack. He had a very good mile that day in 1:15.4, and then the Maple Leaf Limbs the week prior won by 4.75 lengths, 1:51.2. Another very good race. I think another horse likes coming to the bigger track. He's, coming here stateside. He's really been improving a lot. 5-2. Let's give him a shot on this pick 4. But to recount my selection for the feature 13th now from Hoosier, it's the Caesars Trotting Classic. Going to take the 2-horse Chapper Kraz. Give kudos to the 4-horse Prairie Cullum. 2-4-6-3 Super. 2-4 in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.